What's going on, everybody? Welcome back on in. We are here Monday afternoon. Philadelphia Sports Talk. Philly Take with RB. Run it back, Philly. Shout out to my guy, DJ Eastwood, man. We're here to talk to you guys. We're going to talk Eagles, Sixers, right? We got Gardner Minshew. I can't believe that's even like a viable topic here. But, Gardner Minshew. Then we'll get into some Ben Simmons stuff. Some reports just came out a little while ago. But man, we're gonna be here chopping it up. DJ, how you doing, my guy?
What's up, man? Glad to be back collabing. Couple of months until real things happen. So, the off season. I've only been doing this for like 2 years. I think you have too. The off season is just dragging. Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some things to talk about. We're gonna have a good time.
I feel like this whole off season, especially in terms of the Sixers, has just been like a drag because we're waiting on one thing, and it's being stretched out to the point where we might end up running it back. Shout out to your name, but I don't know. I haven't really experienced an off season like this one where it's like literally everything circles around one thing and one thing only.
No, I haven't either, and honestly, maybe in the history of the franchise, to be honest with you. And I don't think we'll ever see it again. It's such a polarizing topic, and shout out to Jonathan Himes in the comments. He said, I'm so tired of hearing about Ben Simmons. But at the same time, it's something that none of us have ever seen. This situation is something that none of us have ever been through. And the franchise is in such a weird position right now. It's just it's a topic that's not going to go away until it's over. So,
yeah. And I think people have to realize something like, we're not just trying to talk about Ben Simmons. We're not just trying to talk about one topic. Like, we love that. We want to see the team do good. We want the team to thrive. But like everything really revolves around one thing because we have no cap space. We had a late draft pick and we ended up drafting a player that's not even polished or anything like that. And now we're just at the situation we're at. We re-signed a couple guys and we signed a couple just average free agents. Like there's not really much else to say at this point.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, you want to talk about the team, and it's really just, you're right. Ben Simmons is holding up all discussion topics because you can't even really talk about the construction of the roster. You can't talk about anything until it's over.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, shout out to Petey in the chat. Eagles Uncensored. What's going on, my guy? Shout out to Tyrese Maxey, Minshew Mania. We're going to get into it, man. We have some strong opinions about this, and I feel like people aren't hearing it. Philly Girl, what's going on? Nathaniel says that title that making us running it back. There you go. You must have known something, right? You must have looked into the future or something like that.
It sucks because I named the damn show after the Sixers botched the Jimmy Butler team, and I thought Jimmy Butler was coming back, and I titled it "Run It Back" because that's what we were saying. We need to run it back. Now I do not want to run anything back at all. I want to run Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey back. That's what I want to run back.
Let me ask you this: like, can you even believe that we're at this point? Because months ago, and I mean, I've gone so far at this point with people about this. Like, people seem to just be forgetting how we felt just a couple months ago. I mean, we were truly embarrassed on the national stage. And like, can you even believe that we're here with, a month and a half to go till camp, not even, and we're probably about to run this thing back.
Yeah. I just don't, I don't think it's possible. And I think now that I heard a rumor yesterday that people have been saying this all summer, but talks are starting to heat up once again on the Ben Simmons trade. And I think Daryl Morey's going to feel the pressure when the season's about to start. When training camp's about to start, he's about to feel the pressure because it's a disastrous situation that you don't want to have in your locker room at all. And we can also talk about Rich Paul and the fact that he's getting sued by Nerlens Noel, and he's becoming known as a snake as far as agents go, and he probably had a lot to do with Ben Simmons not contacting anybody. And Rich Paul hasn't even put his foot on the pedal yet. If they get closer to the season, Rich Paul could pull something and say, Ben's not coming there. You guys might as well do something. We're not coming back. And you never know what's going to happen, but it could get really weird and ugly. And I think it'll probably get to the point where you're going to take what you can get, which is unfortunate because our luck, we'll take what we can get, and then Damian Lillard will be traded at the deadline.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I agree 100%. And, we just saw a report a little while ago. Here's the latest on it. Shams comes out. And I feel like we've been seeing one of these like every single day. Like DJ said, Toronto and Minnesota continue to be the most interested teams. Package proposals from both teams have not been up to the Sixers' liking, as it seems nothing has because of the asking price. And all signs, this is per Shams, by the way, all signs are pointing to Simmons' career in Philly coming to an end. And another part of that piece, I don't see it here, but Shams was pretty much saying that Daryl Morey, as me and DJ have both stated over and over again, and people want to say that we're crazy for it, Daryl Morey is literally, playing the risky waiting game. Again, as we've been saying, he's either, I tweeted this out. This is either going to end up really, really good for the Sixers, and we're going to get our guy, and we're not going to have a lot of competition, or, this is going to turn into a disaster. And, Ben Simmons might not report, and then Damian Lillard doesn't become available. And then, like DJ said, we have to settle for an average player. And then, honestly, I mean, it's just a failure at that point. But what do you think about that, DJ?
Yeah, I know it's Daryl Morey's best interest to move the franchise forward for the future and for the better of the future. And, he's not even looking at this upcoming season. And that's with us. Of course, we're reactionary fans. We're always looking at this upcoming season. So that's the battle right now, is that Daryl Morey's going to say to himself, I don't care what the fans are mad about. This upcoming season, if it has to be weird for 6 months, and then you trade Ben at the trade deadline and turn the roster over and you win a championship a year from then or 2 years from then it's a success. So I think he's probably willing to put the fans in an awkward position with this team, because he's looking at years down the line. He's not looking at this upcoming season. But at the same time, Joel Embiid is not a guy that's going to play until he's 38 years old. And I feel like every month now is wasted. Every month now is like, okay, we wasted another month of Joel Embiid's career that could be over when he's 31 and he's going to turn 28. Well, I guess he just turned 27, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's like the timer's running out on Joel Embiid. Daryl Morey's willing to play a waiting game. It's a whole mess.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And I absolutely agree. Shout out to everybody. We got 80 people in the chat, guys. Drop a like. We are live on both channels, by the way. Philly Take with RB and Running Back Philly. Be sure to like up the streams, man. Sub if you're new. We're going to keep pounding out this content every single day. I know there hasn't really been a lot of substance to it, but, we're doing what we can. But continuing on to that, I know you've been critical of Daryl Morey, so have I. We're starting to take a look in the mirror at Daryl, honestly. But, at the end of the day, like, can you really blame him, at this point? Because, I mean, someone, what the comment right here, Dame's going to request out the second we trade Ben Simmons. It's almost like, can you really blame Daryl for going that high and trying to build value up? But then again, I see it like you do. I don't think Ben Simmons, guys, I don't think he's coming to training camp. Knowing Ben's personality, knowing the type of player he is, he's that type of guy. If this guy gets anxious at the free throw line, do you think he's really going to come out to start a season with fans that hate him? I mean, let's be honest, man. No. There's just no way that I just don't see a way that Ben's going to come out here, especially, this is the first time Joel Embiid publicly called him out. And Joel's like a teddy bear. He's like a nice guy. Even Doc Rivers, who babied him all year, called him out. Like, is there any way that he even comes back to play for this team? I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. And all he's been posting the whole offseason is, in LA. He always makes sure he puts the location LA. He's always like in a car throwing a peace sign. Right when the season was over, he posted a picture of himself on the bench that said, on to the next one. You know what I mean? So as soon as that thing was over, he was probably like, all right, I'm out of here. And the fact that he won't come out and just say, hey, I want you guys to trade me, that would be nice if he would do that. Then it would heat things up and be like, all right, Ben Simmons is trying to force a trade. Now there's going to be more action or something. So it's just annoying, but I really think he just went to L.A. He cut off all ties with the team. Some people say it's because he needed to clear his head after everything that happened. And it's just, if he wanted to clear his head, he wouldn't be posting on social media, floating in a pool, laughing while his home country is in the Olympics and all this. He just doesn't care at all about what's going on. And he makes it perfectly clear to me that he doesn't care. It's hard to see him coming back. But also, like, people keep wanting to talk about we need to bring him back and raise his trade value in the beginning of the season. How can that happen? How's that even possible?
It can't. The answer is that it can't. And that's why I never understand that argument because, okay, you're going to bring the guy back to this team, right? And are we just going to make the assumption now that he's going to give it 100%? Are we just going to make the assumption that this guy's going to try to go win us ball games knowing that he's about to be on the move? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just sometimes it's not even the player. It's just a fit in an organization, and it just does not fit anymore. It doesn't fit what we're trying to do. We've seen it time and time again that it's just not going to work. And I don't care what anybody says, man. We've backed this guy for however many years. And, people just want to act like 2 months ago did not happen. I mean, this was our chance. And I know the guy has soaring potential. But at the end of the day, like DJ just said, he keeps trolling us, man. He keeps trolling us. We defended the guy for how many years? And he continues to put out these soaring videos of him throwing down crazy dunks and shooting the ball from 40 feet out. And when we get in the game, it doesn't work. And I had this argument the other day with somebody, like, you have to, be a threat to shoot the basketball. Somebody tried to bring up Giannis to me. You know what Giannis does? He sucks at shooting, but he shoots. He gets better at it.
He
And
also,
look at how his game opens up.
Giannis also doesn't bring the ball up the court and doesn't initiate the half-court offense. And when he did in the beginning of that final series, that's why they were down 0-2, because they were trying to run the offense through Giannis. And finally, Budenholzer was like, oh, yeah, I have Drew Holiday. And they started running pick and rolls with Drew Holiday from the top and giving Giannis all the space in the middle. And Giannis also doesn't have Joel Embiid next to him, So if they want to compare Ben to Giannis, that's cool. He has to be on a team that doesn't have a center in the paint drawing all this attention. He has to be playing with a Brook Lopez or something like that, a guy that can stand outside. It's just, it doesn't make sense that one guy scores all of his points in the paint, Joel Embiid, and another guy scores all of his points in the paint.
Yep.
It never made sense from the beginning. We tried to lie to ourselves for a long time that this can work. It just can't work. You need a guy on the outside and a guy on the inside. It's basic spacing.
Yeah, especially with your point guard. And then another point onto that is, like, Giannis has heart, man. We just want, I've been saying this, like, even if Ben Simmons came out after the game 7 and took, full accountability, we would still rip him, but it would not be like this. Like, he is obviously trolling the fans of Philadelphia. He doesn't want to be here. And if he comes back, they're going to say all the right PR things. Like, they're going to act like this is okay. But no matter what you guys say, Daryl Morey has been actively shopping this guy. He will continue to do so. And the ball lies in Damian Lillard's court. If we don't get him, we could settle for an average player. But then again, we're in a tough situation. We don't want to settle for an average player because we know the potential. And if he lives up to it, then it's going to look bad on our part. But my last thing is like DJ said, we got to capitalize, man. I'm not saying we have to win the chip next year, but Joel Embiid's not going to play till he's 38 years old. So, unless you want to risk this thing getting to a point where we may have to start over again, I think you got to make a move, man. And as a Philly fan, I'm not going to be that same guy I was before where I want to cling on to people. I don't care what it takes, and that may differ from everybody else. If Damian Lillard becomes available, you give the Blazers an offer they cannot refuse. You get it done, and that's where I'm at with that.
Right. I'm going to start having some hot takes pretty soon about Tyrese Maxey, though, and I'm torn still because – if Dame does become available, I think Tyrese Maxey is part of the trade package, and that sucks. I would still do it, but that sucks. But people are on this thing where if you trade Ben and it's not for an absolute superstar, which I don't know where they're getting this value from, that you got to give up Ben, somebody else, and 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps to even make that happen. It's not Ben and you get a superstar back, but they're acting like if you don't get a superstar back, it makes your team worse. And all of the 4-on-5 half-court basketball we watched in the playoffs and in the regular season, in crunch time, I don't care about his transition numbers in the first half. I don't care about him scoring 16 points in the first quarter. None of that. When the pressure is on, it's 4-on-5. The guy stands under the basket. He makes the job harder for Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. And I don't understand how getting rid of that situation makes your team worse, especially with Tyrese Maxey looking the way that he looks. It can only improve the spacing. Get him the hell out of here. I
Yeah.
don't understand it. That we lost to the Atlanta Hawks and people are still talking about this guy's, our defense is going to get worse. It wasn't good enough to stop Trae Young and who else?
Yeah. It's just embarrassing at this point. And the fact that people are just okay, let's be completely honest with ourselves. Last year we got the 1 seed. A lot of the games, weren't really games. I mean, we were going up against backups for a lot of those games. A lot of teams were hurt, and we saw what happens, come playoff time again for the 3rd time in 4 years. I mean, you just can't win without all of your guys being able to at least propose a threat on offense. And, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing we lost to a team with pretty much no playoff experience. And this was our best chance. And every other team got better in the East. Every team got better. So if we, if you want to keep on trying to say the same thing and just staying complacent, everyone else is getting better, man. It's I keep saying we're going to win regular season games. We're going to win 54 games. But come playoff time, you know what they're going to do. I mean, there's no secret about it now. So it's just rough, man.
The pick and roll in the NBA is the most run play for a reason, and that's what Atlanta did. And it started from the top, and you had to guard Trae Young in the pick and roll, and the spacing in the paint was incredible, and John Collins was catching alley-oops left and right all day. And I want that. I want that spacing. That's what I want. I want to see what Joel Embiid looks like when you have to bring a double team from 15 feet away, not some guy that was going to guard Ben Simmons under the rim, and now he can just take a step to his left.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Rick Bennett with the $4 super chat. Thanks so much. Says like and subscribe. I will catch you guys later. I'm working. Shout out to Rick, man. Great channel member. And shout out to Andre with the $5 super chat. Can Ben and Maxey become a deadly pick and roll combo? DJ, take
it. If Ben's a small ball 5, then yes. I think Ben has potential to be an elite cutter to the rim. We've seen him do it a lot of times. He can even cut to the rim and catch the ball at the elbow, and then, he can kick out from that. He can do a lot of things with the ball in his hands when he's not the main ball handler at the top. And it's all about the playoff series when those teams start playing real defense. And when it comes to Ben Simmons, that means stop playing defense and just back up or go guard somebody else. It's all different when that happens. So I don't know. It's hard for him to even set a screen when people are playing defense like that because his defender's not even guarding him on the screen. He can just go double team the guy with the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And I see someone in the comments said Ben would just set the pick and that's it. And that's the thing. Like the guy doesn't really have much of a game down low either. Like he has to work on that. And I feel like people forget that as well. That would work. But at the end of the day, like, we have Joel Embiid who can set big boy screens. And then, in terms of Ben Simmons, like, I keep trying to tell people, like, if the guy doesn't shoot at all, your offense is not going to be fully capable of doing what it can. If Ben would just be a threat to shoot the ball from the corner, do you know how much better that would make our team? I mean, you would have Tyrese running the point. Fine, Ben Simmons was never a point guard. You have him at the 3 or the 4. Then you have Joel Embiid, and that's another thing. People keep saying, oh, move Ben to his natural position. Move Ben to his natural position. Then what the heck do you do with $36 million Tobias Harris? The guy can't play the 3. And that's, Tobias Harris is another reason we're in this situation. But let's be, keep it real with ourselves. We know Tobias Harris is not a max player. It was a bad contract, but he's going to give you 22 a night. That is what Tobias Harris is. He's not flashy, none of this, none of that. Sure, we can move Ben to the 4 and he can be a solid player. But it's not, he's a number 1 overall pick. He's got to live up, man. Come on.
You don't have to move anything, though, because if you watch the fourth quarter of Game 7, George Hill was handling the ball and Ben Simmons was standing under the rim, so he was already playing the 4, except you already had Tobias. So you had 2 power forwards on the floor next to a center, and that kind of almost rehashes my videos from a couple years ago when we were playing Al Horford, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Josh Richardson. There's 4 forwards on the floor. So, you traded Josh Richardson for Seth. That's a good trade. But if Simmons is still standing under the rim with Tobias and Embiid, there's 3 forwards on the floor. You just can't play basketball like that.
You can't. And people were talking in the comments about the free throws. Guys, that's another thing. I mean, how this guy shot in the playoffs. I could have done better. I honestly believe that. And I've never stepped on an NBA court in my life. I really believe I could have shot free throws better. Okay, fine. You know, some guys just can never shoot free throws. Well, tell me how the hell earlier this season he was shooting 75%. Where did it go? Where did it go? And then in addition to that, this is the worst part about it. And this is why some Philly fans make us look miserable, because it's not like the guy can't shoot. I've been stressing this for so long now. Both of us have. The guy has a jump shot. He won't shoot it. He can. He can at least try. Every time the guy pulls up from the corner, it looks fine. How about the 2-week stretch where he earned his all-star nod and the guy was out here, ripping everybody to shreds? And where did that go? Don't tell me it's because Joel Embiid came back in or this or that. No, that's on Ben Simmons. Come on, man.
Yeah, it is all mentality. And if you don't have the mentality at 24, 25 years old, you just turned 25, right? If you don't have the mentality at 25, you're not going to have it at 26, 27, 28, 29. Mentality is something you learn as a child. It's just never going to change. His mindset's never going to change. It has to be a team that can put the right players around him. He's never going to turn into a 6'10 James Harden and be shooting step-back threes in a game. It's never going to happen. I don't know why people think it's still going to happen. It's literally never going to happen.
It's unfortunate, man, because I feel like a lot of people that, they see it from a higher perspective, right? Maybe on the national stage, they see these videos and they see what, he puts out there. And it's just like, if you watch his team on a daily basis, like, where is it, man? Where is it? And oh my God, I don't know, man. It's just, it's terrible, because I wanted the next LeBron to come out of Philadelphia and I thought we had him. I really did. And if Ben Simmons at least makes his free throws, we probably win the championship. We probably go to the finals and win, honestly. And it's rough, man. It's rough.
It's possible, but I think he would have held us back in the finals too.
Yeah, no, he probably would have. It
really looks like, and when people talk about him shooting with the wrong hand, that really makes some sense to me, because, like, I imagine myself, if I was playing basketball trying to shoot with my left hand, and I would have to think about it way too much, and I wouldn't be able to pull the trigger when I'm open and know where to pull the shot at and all that stuff, because you're thinking of it. It's awkward, and maybe that's what it is. Because when he's on the block and he turns and he has a panic move when the shot clock's running down, it's always his right hand. He naturally goes to his right hand. So if he would have learned how to shoot with his right hand, he would be a lot more natural at pulling the trigger and pulling up for jump shots without overthinking it and all that stuff. But, his genius dad, for some reason, decided to make him a left-handed jump shooter, and you already know what I think about that guy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We're going to talk about what we would do right now if, we were in charge. But shout out to Andre with the $5 super chat. If we trade Ben, then we have to depend more on Matisse. Do you think Matisse is ready to play more minutes? What do you think, DJ?
Why do we have to depend more on Matisse? I mean, Matisse is a great defender, but I'm just over this thought that you have to have lockdown defenders all over the floor to win basketball games. You don't. Teams are winning games 140 to 132. Like, teams are winning games 129 to 118. Yeah. You don't have to hold people to 97 points to win games in the NBA. You have to be able to put the ball in the basket. So yeah. I just don't. I'd rather see a little bit of a dip in defensive efficiency and score more points.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And kind of on the contrary, though, like, I think Matisse should have already been playing more minutes. And I think Doc Rivers just doesn't like going to young guys. That's just who he is. And I think he's got to come out of his stubborn ways. But in terms of Matisse, everybody was talking about his jump shot in the Olympics. It looks a lot better. But I'm not going to be the guy anymore to look at off-season stuff, Come day one, if Matisse is shooting the ball better, yeah, he deserves to play a lot, because that dude, he's one of the best young defenders I've ever seen with my own two eyes. Like, he is amazing. And, if we do trade Ben Simmons, then fine, Matisse can nurture his way in. We also have Danny Green back on the squad, which, I mean, that's going to be a whole nother thing. But, in terms of what he brings on the floor, I'm glad that we got Danny back. Now, other things, obviously, different, but Matisse Thybulle could hopefully end up being our two-way guard of the future. We'll see.
Yeah, Danny Green's going to find out real quick how much Philly fans know and how much they don't forget. And in other fan bases, he could have said what he said on a podcast and nobody would ever care. Nobody would ever say a word. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced Danny Green's name and just as a sarcastic troll, the entire arena boos him just because Philly fans need to be better. Philly fans need to be nicer. Philly fans don't like that kind of stuff. And the people you see on Twitter and Facebook groups and stuff, those aren't the people that are actually in the arena. The people in the arena are really 80% of them live in Philly. They do not play games when it comes to stuff like that. And that's why I think not just Danny Green for those comments, but Ben Simmons is going to get eaten alive if he comes back in the Sixers uniform. And then we're going to hear it all day, every day on Twitter about how bad Philly fans are and they need to be nicer and all that kind of stuff. But,
Yeah, it's crazy at this point. Mike says Shams has a report regarding Philly, Toronto, and Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same things we've been seeing. At the end of the day, it's not really in our field anymore. Like, we just have to wait and see what happens, really. This thing could get ugly. It could get ugly in camp. But I'm going to turn it over to DJ after this. Shout out to Daniel, the $5 super chat. Says, you guys think there's any chance Ben ends up in Minnesota? Appreciate it, Daniel. I'll let DJ take this. If you're the GM, is there a way that, you just end up trading Ben and maybe missing out on a superstar player, and trading him to Minnesota or, I don't know, Indiana or a team like that or Toronto? What do you think?
Are we talking about D'Angelo Russell?
I mean, I mean, if he went to Minnesota, I would think it would be for D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, a package like that.
I mean, first of all, I don't think it's terrible for Minnesota. I think Karl Anthony Towns is a little bit more of an agile, floor-stretching kind of new age center than Joel Embiid is. So, Ben can play the paint and Towns can hang out outside a lot more, and that's what he likes to do anyway because he can't move anybody on the block. But I don't think it's a bad idea for Minnesota as far as us. D'Angelo Russell, I feel like he gets a lot of hate recently. He hasn't been healthy for a long time, but when he is healthy, he had an all-star season in Brooklyn, I believe it was, right? And we wanted to draft him before we were forced to draft Okafor. He's a shooter, can't guard anybody, but at the same time, I don't know. I just I would do it.
Great in the
I would probably do it.
So you're saying, like, say a month goes by now and nothing coming out of Portland's camp. Are you willing to just deal Ben at this point and just it is what it is?
Yeah, I am. Sucks, but I am. I don't want this to start the season. I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think Dame's requesting a trade. I don't. I listened to his whole new rap album. Which, by the way, I don't know if it's that rappers these days are so terrible that Damian Lillard is a good rapper or that Damian Lillard is actually a good rapper, but I kind of enjoyed it. But he just seems to he likes where he lives. He likes the lifestyle that he lives. He just doesn't seem like he cares that much about winning an NBA championship, and maybe he doesn't.
Yeah. He talks a lot about how he's taken care of financially. So, I mean, it is what it is,
He's living the life. If he's like, hey, I get to play basketball and make millions of dollars and I don't want to go anywhere. I don't know. If winning a ring isn't that important to him, then maybe it's not. I'm sure every player wants to hit a game-winning shot in the NBA Finals, though. Doesn't he want that?
Yeah. I mean, he is a competitor, so I feel like it's going to get to him sooner or later. We're in the age where it doesn't even matter anymore. Russell, look at the LA Lakers. I mean, every guy is signed with the Lakers. They just ended up signing Rondo, I believe, or they're about to. And I mean, even Russell Westbrook just teamed up with LeBron James. Like, at this point, Dame, you can't waste your prime, man. But in terms of my opinion, like, I don't know if I would just trade Ben for scraps at this point. But I also don't want this to mess up the locker room chemistry. Like, honestly, I hope that Ben would not report. And I don't want him to come in, and I don't want these guys to have chemistry issues and, half of the locker room's divided and then half of them are backing him up. Like, I don't want that. If you're not going to play with us, don't come and request a trade. Okay. And, Daryl Morey will do what he has to do. So.
Somebody said D'Lo isn't the answer, but who is the answer? There is no answer. That's the problem. There's no answer. You can't get the guy that's going to that's going to be this superstar pairing with Embiid. He's not out there. Damian Lillard is not available.
Yeah.
I just
not, and I don't understand what's taking them, like what are you going to see in camp that we don't see? I mean, the team went out and got Cody Zeller and Tony Snell. Unbelievable, man. But then again, they can't get anybody. They can't. And why wouldn't Portland take a young core, a Ben Simmons, a Tyrese Maxey draft picks? Why wouldn't they take that? Why?
So do you think this age of LeBron James is bad for the NBA? Because it seems like when you say they can't get anybody, it seems like it's because everybody that's available wants to play with LeBron James. Yeah. And maybe when LeBron James finally retires, players will be like, oh, Damian Lillard's a really good point guard. I would fit perfectly. Maybe we can do something. But nobody seems to even consider it because they all just want to go play with LeBron James.
Yeah, I think people, I think we're in the ring chasing era. And honestly, I truly believe that Kevin Durant broke the NBA twice. And I think we're in the second time that he did that. Honestly, everything since KD joined the Warriors and then joined the Nets has all been about super teams. I feel like everyone broke because of KD.
Right, but it's annoying, but it's also like why the dignity behind it. Like if you give a girl an engagement ring, but you don't marry her, does the ring mean anything? Like, yeah, it has financial value. But does the ring actually mean anything? So I don't understand why an NBA player would even want a trophy in their cabinet because they know how they got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I never would have seen a guy like Russell Westbrook taking his talents to LA with LeBron. I really never would have thought I'd seen that. And now, the Lakers literally signed every free agent. I don't know how they did it, but they did. Well, actually, I do know how. The 10 through 15 guys on the roster are like pretty good vets who took like $1 million to play. It's unbelievable. But
somebody, who was it? There was like a 24-year-old that took less money to go there.
Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah. Like, are you serious? Why would your goal at that age to not be get the biggest contract you can get?
And this is why I'm saying, like, we don't have a chance. Like, last year was our chance, people. And that's why we have to literally go above and beyond and do something. We're not going to, we might finish third in the East, fourth in the East, but are we really going to contend for a championship now? I don't know. But
yeah, and what Durant did, it seems like, when you see him get into feuds on Twitter and stuff, it seems like he's not I don't think he's a very happy person when it comes down to it. And I don't think he really likes his own decision. It's just weird to me. Just is.
Yeah, exactly. And Russ was traded there. He didn't just take his talents there. Well, we obviously know Russ had play in it.
He was recruited.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. This is the NBA nowadays.
I don't think it's going to be good though. I think this is the end of. And I've been a LeBron James fan his whole career. When he went to LA, I kind of lost interest. I wasn't really rooting for him anymore. I liked when he went back. I liked when he went to Miami because I hated the Celtics and I wanted them to beat the Celtics. And yeah, LeBron started the build your own super team thing. He went back to Cleveland. I was still rooting for him because that was a fun story. But he went to LA, and I was like, nah, I don't really care anymore. And this might be the end of LeBron James' dominance because I don't think this team's going to be very good with Russell Westbrook clogging up the bad shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be a formidable team. I don't know if they'll win it all, but I know they have a lot of depth. So they surrounded with all the shooters they needed. So it's really about health, in my opinion. But Andre with the $5 super chat says, when you're as good as KD, everyone wants to play with you. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. What I'm trying to say is that, we finally had gotten back to a point where it was 2 stars on every team. KD went to Brooklyn with Kyrie. They recruited James Harden, and now look where we're at. We're right back into it. And it's just how it is.
They can't stay healthy, though. I'm still not worried about them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as worried about the Nets, but I feel like the East as a whole got a lot better. You look at teams like Miami as well. It's a lot. So,
yeah, Miami. Yeah.
I honestly felt like there was a good chance we were going to move the Tobias contract, just so that we could have more flexibility going forward because, he's making a lot of money. So
it's another one that you can't trade. You just can't. You can get a guy that can score 19 points per game, a lot of ways without paying $180 million. It's just a terrible contract that nobody wants.
Yep. Yep. Malik Monk took a minimum contract too. Yeah. Every guy
Malik Monk went to the Lakers.
Yeah. Every young player went to the Lakers. And even Rondo just got bought out by the Grizzlies. And, they were talking about Philadelphia and then boom, he's to the Lakers as well. I mean, it's crazy, man.
What can the NBA actually do about things like this? Because the players' union is always going to vote. The players have choice when they're free agents, and there's nothing really you can do about it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. They can't because this is these guys' choices, But at the end of the day, give us your thoughts in the chat. We got 150 in the house, man. Drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channels. We're live on both. We might take some callers in a little bit. We're about to switch over to some Eagles talk, but yeah, give us your final thoughts, man. At the end of the day, we're just going to keep monitoring the situation. My final opinion is that it's either going to work out really well, it's going to be a blessing in disguise, and we finally get what we want, or it's going to be another case of the Philly misses out, and this thing could turn disastrous. I'm telling you, here's my hot take, DJ. In a couple years, say Ben Simmons doesn't get traded, and this thing blows up, in a couple years, we may have to rebuild and start over. That's my hot take.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think after Joel Embiid, we're going to have to rebuild and start over anyway.
But let me ask you this. Is there a point in the next year or two where, we constantly don't give the guy what he needs? He hasn't played with a point guard, and he says, you know what? Like, I know he just signed an extension, but, I mean, is there a point where he grows unhappy?
Yeah, it's very possible. I think we're very lucky that Joel Embiid is the person that he is, and just, coming from Cameroon, Africa, and he's just so humble, and he just got his driver's license like last year at 26 years old. He just doesn't do many things. He's not about the flashy American lifestyle. He really doesn't care that much. So maybe he's just a loyal guy that enjoys having a passionate fan base and will stay here. But, I mean, everybody wants to win, and, yeah, he could get to the point where he's like, you know what? I've done this enough. I want to win. I'm out of here. Trade me right now. So that could definitely happen too. If he had an agent, I would be more scared about it. But the guy doesn't even have an agent, man. He's just super chill.
Yeah, I appreciate Joel, and man, he's put up with a lot. And hopefully we make it through for him, and hopefully Tyrese Maxey becomes the guy that we think he can be. That could be our solution. So,
my prediction is Malcolm Brogdon and Ben Simmons goes to Indiana, and he's a terrible fit alongside the guys that are there. But we get a traditional experienced point guard, and Tyrese Maxey can play like a combo guard position. Maybe you trade Seth. Maybe Seth comes off the bench. But I just fantasize about the spacing.
It's been a long time, man. And I'm telling you, we got to upgrade our bench as well, man. We signed a couple guys, but still, I don't view it as that solid at this point. But
no,
who knows, man? We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's transition over to the Eagles. I know DJ's been waiting all morning to give his take on this. So have I, man. I'm actually excited. Let us know who we got in the house, man. We'll start off with this comment here. Dave says Minshew's about to take over Philly. Let's go.
I just want to start by I didn't even realize, like, we traded a 6th round pick for him. I just thought, okay, the guy was a flash in the pan in 2019. 2020, he won the first game of the season. They literally lost every game the rest of the season, every single one. And he got traded for a 6th round pick. And I just thought everyone was over Gardner Minshew. And then I didn't realize it until I started posting on Twitter, and people were responding that he's going to be the starter, and he's better than Jalen Hurts, and he's the future. And what are we really talking about? Like, when you really compare their stats, it is easy to look at the numbers and say, okay, Jalen Hurts isn't any better than this guy. All you've had is 4 games on a really bad Eagles team to be able to say that. Not that Gardner Minshew was playing on a good team, and I do give him credit that his interception percentage is low, and there's an article that I have with 10 stats about Gardner Minshew that'll blow your mind. Like, he's like the 3rd lowest interception percentage in NFL history with minimum 500 throws. Like, he has some crazy stats, but it was like it was like a Ryan Fitzpatrick thing. It was a fire that burned out, and it's gone.
Yep.
And I just don't understand how he could be a threat to be the starter, because your goal this year is to look toward the future, right? Your goal this year is to find out if Jalen Hurts is the future, and if Jalen Hurts is not the future, you need to draft another quarterback or something. Your goal is not to say, okay, Jalen Hurts is not the future, Gardner Minshew is, because now you're in the same situation. He's not a franchise quarterback either. So even if he would end up being better than Jalen Hurts, it still doesn't make sense, because your goal is to end up with a franchise quarterback, not Gardner Minshew.
Oh man. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I'm about to go on a little rant here. Shout out to my guy, Philly Foothills, man. Great Eagles content creator. What's going on, my guy? Appreciate you being in here. We got a $5 super chat from Aaron. Woo! With Minshew at the helm, we're gonna win 4 games, not 3. Let's go. Shout out to Aaron, man. Great channel member. All right, man. I couldn't agree more. And here's my thing on it. We are in this situation for 2 reasons. Number 1 is the dingus known as Howie Roseman, and the other is Eagles fans themselves. Now, hear me out, okay?
As Mina says, Foles in the chat.
There you go. And Nick Foles is apparently in trade talks, or they're talking about moving him with the quarterbacks that they have. I wouldn't be surprised if Howie's on the phone with Chicago. First and foremost, I don't know if you've seen this as well, but where has the accountability for Howie Roseman gone? Where in just months since last season? Oh, we made a couple good veteran signings, this and that. We are in this situation because of Howie Roseman. First off, what GM makes a trade after the last preseason game on 9 a.m. at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning to get a third string quarterback? That is who Howie Roseman is. The guy loves quarterbacks. I mean, that's just who he is, right? Only the Eagles fans would flip out about getting Gardner Minshew, because every little thing this guy does in terms of, drafting a quarterback, trading for a quarterback, we're scared that it's going to be a quarterback competition. Like, we really have to sit here and think, with Howie Roseman drafting Jalen Hurts, that's why we're here, honestly. And it's nothing against Jalen Hurts, to your Jalen Hurts point. People have to, this is my second point as well about Eagles fans. We got to hit the brake a little bit, guys. I mean, this guy played 4 games, and I hate the pick. I will forever hate the pick, not because of Jalen Hurts, but because of it was, you signed your quarterback to an extension and then drafted a quarterback, right? But Eagles fans, they're sitting here, and now because Nick Foles won the Super Bowl in 2017, every single quarterback move is under scrutiny. The guy played 4 games at the end of a rookie season. He was put in the worst situation ever. I would argue ever. And he had all this pressure mounting on his shoulders. And at the same time, the Philly media is making this story and that story and this. And honestly, Jalen Hurts handled it pretty well. But he came in and he showed some flashes here and there. It wasn't perfect, but would you expect the guy who had essentially no preseason, no reps at all, and came in and he played okay? And now we're ready to exile Jalen Hurts. And now we're ready to talk about Gardner Minshew becoming the next quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles fans need to stop thinking about 2017. In 2017, we put magic on everything we touched. That is not going to happen again. And that, I know Carson Wentz didn't play well, but ever since Nick Foles won that Super Bowl, it's Carson Wentz this, Carson Wentz can't do that. And now it's the same thing with Jalen Hurts. And now we're talking about Gardner Minshew it was a great move in terms of a backup quarterback. And if I'm being honest, I don't get how we only gave up a 6th-round pick to get him. But I'll end it off with this. Like, Gardner Minshew may be able to start on another team. He's here to be the backup quarterback. And honestly, I don't know why we didn't just acquire the guy earlier. We paid Joe Flacco, and now we're out here acquiring Gardner Minshew. He's a good backup quarterback, but because of all the history, like tying it all together, because of everything that happened, and because of the way this fan base is just ready to attack any quarterback. Gardner Minshew starts for the Eagles. Guess what? We'll trade for another quarterback, and then he'll be our next starter. You know what I mean? We got to push the brakes, man. And I'm just sick of it. I mean, this guy, Jalen Hurts, give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Yeah, please give him a chance. So the whole Why does it matter that they haven't announced him as the starter yet? It matters to me because they should have put this to rest way back when they had a chance. They should have said day one after the Carson Wentz trade, Jalen Hurts is our starter. We're going to see what we have in him for a whole year, but they didn't, and they won't. And they're out here, everybody's going to fight for a position. And I understand it's a new coaching staff and stuff, but just put it to rest. Don't give the fan base any more ammo. And then you go trade for Gardner Minshew, and you just gave the fan base more ammo to create a controversy. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. Joe Flacco is not good, but nobody has a good backup quarterback. No team besides the 2017 Eagles were like, hey, our backup is amazing. Who has a great backup? I don't understand it. If Roethlisberger goes down, I don't even remember the guy's name that comes in for him all the time. He's terrible. They never win with that guy because he's a backup quarterback. I don't understand this. You have to have a great backup quarterback. If your quarterback goes down, you're screwed. It's just the way it is. Andy Dalton couldn't even take the Cowboys anywhere, and he was the best backup quarterback in the league.
Right, exactly. And my thing as well is like, we look at Gardner Minshew's stats, right? The fact that we only got a 6th-round pick for him, and the fact that, we just traded for him now. You're telling me there was no other interest in Gardner Minshew. That has to say something. That has to say something that no other team would be willing to bite on him. And, we just took him for scraps, essentially. But if that's the case, like, why did we even sign Joe Flacco? Why didn't we trade a 6th-round pick earlier and bring Gardner Minshew in? Like, those are the things I don't get. And as crazy as it might sound, even kind of going against my earlier point, like, I think the Eagles should just reassure Jalen Hurts that he is the starter. Like, they haven't even told him, like you said, yet. They need to just tell him, like, you're the starter. We don't have anything else going on. That way people will shut up about it as well. It's just very frustrating that, since 2017, every single time now, there's going to be something about the quarterback. Like, I haven't heard any other fan base rave about their backup quarterback so much like Eagles.
Yeah, you're right. If he was so good, they would have gotten more than a 6th-round pick for him. So nobody wanted him for a reason, literally. So anybody that's saying his interception percentage, his stats, and all of these rookie records that he said, all that stuff, no NFL general managers gave a crap about it because he's not good. Like, they're smart enough to look past those misleading stats. But people are out here posting the stats and all this stuff. But when I went back and watched a lot of his highlights, and I wish I had the time to watch full games to see what the hell was going on, because every single time he threw the ball in these highlights, they were down by 38 points in the fourth quarter. And I'm watching this like how they lost every game the whole season. All of his throws were in garbage time. And I'll give him credit. He made a lot of great throws, and he didn't throw a lot of interceptions, which could have happened in garbage time, but it looked like sometimes the defense was done. They were up 38-7, and they were like, all right, game over. Oh, Minshew just bombed it over my head. I should have been paying attention. It's really misleading numbers. I don't get it. And what did he do he almost gave me Tim Tebow vibes because he's throwing the ball in the fourth quarter and the Jaguars have 3 points. What happened in the first 75% of the game if this guy is so good? Why didn't he put the ball in the end zone ever?
Right. And on top of that, it's like, in his defense, like, for being a former 6th-round pick and going to the Jaguars, like, there was no expectations. Like, he's played okay, and he's been on a terrible team. But then again, it's like, this guy has some of the same issues that people want to talk about with Jalen Hurts in terms of his arm strength. So it's like, you got to pick at that point. And then again, one thing that I have beef with over Philly fans is, like, the same people that are calling for Jalen Hurts' head already are the same people that were complaining about Carson Wentz. So it's like, where do you draw the line? Like, why can't we just settle down and, even if we don't agree with the pick, like, why can't we give the guy a chance? I don't, we used a 2nd-round pick to get this guy. It's like, come on, man. I mean, it's not even like he played just disastrously last year. I mean, it was okay, and he was put in a terrible situation. So, and everything that you've seen so far shows like he wants to take that next step. So,
yeah, and also with comparing the two, who did Jalen Hurts have to throw to? Greg Ward Jr.?
Yeah.
Travis Fulgham, who looked like a superstar for a couple games but disappeared. 98-year-old Alshon Jeffrey. Like, if you watch Minshew's highlights, I feel like 99% of those throws are to Chark Jr., who was an absolute stud that entire season and was snagging everything out of the air. So he had a big weapon. Even though they were terrible, I think the coaching staff was probably playing to his strengths more than Doug Peterson was playing to Jalen Hurts' strengths. I just think you're going to see a different Jalen Hurts with an offensive-minded coach that works with receivers and just is going to put some thought into the play calling and the style of play and things. I just think you're going to see a different Jalen Hurts than that disaster that was going down last year.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, he's a 22-year-old kid. Like, again, I think we have to at least give him a chance. Like, we can't just constantly, start talking about this quarterback and that quarterback. And it's tough, man. It really is rough. And I just don't want people to forget why we're in this situation. It's because of what happened last year. And the one guy that didn't get fired, that should have been fired, is still here. And it's sad that we have to sit up here and talk about a third string quarterback potentially making a controversy. It really is.
And when I look at it, sometimes I'm like, all right, it's a backup quarterback. It's a good signing, whatever. But at the same time, what went into Howie's mind that said, you know what, right now, on a team that's in a transitioning period, we're not expected to win a lot of games anyway. We should just go see what Jalen Hurts has and see if he can be the future. I need to go sign a backup quarterback. I just don't understand why. No. And he just so happens to be a guy that is very likable in a fan base. And the Philly fans are going to run with it. They are. Big Mike is in the chat, and he's I see you, Big Mike. He just thinks Gardner Minshew is going to be a starter.
I don't get where it comes from. Like, I really, we're supposed to take that next step. Like, we're supposed to find our guy. We thought Carson Wentz was that guy. He wasn't. So now the fact that we replaced him with somebody, and everybody was happy to see Carson go. Now we want to replace Jalen Hurts because of a sample size of 4 games. I don't get it, man. I don't understand where everyone is this impatient. It's not like we've seen Hurts for 3 seasons and he just can't get it done.
There's just no way people actually think Gardner Minshew is going to come in here and do something. It doesn't make sense because it's not like he's joining the Tennessee Titans when Ryan Tannehill went there, and it seemed like all they were missing was a game-managing quarterback, and they'll be good. This team was horrible last year. The Jaguars were horrible last year. This is a brand-new coaching staff and a lot of new moving parts, and there's going to be growing pains. Gardner Minshew's not going to be any better on this team than he was in Jacksonville, and they were awful. They lost every single game. I don't get it.
I just don't get it, man. I really don't. And what is your thoughts on the team this year? I feel like a lot of people are just drinking the juice at this point, and I can't take it, man. Like, I don't know. I feel, it's crazy to think we can maybe be in contention for the division, but then again, it's like, I only view this team as like a 6-7 win team. But what do you think about that?
Like my win prediction?
Yeah, like some people think that this team is going to win like 10, 11 games. Some people think it's going to be 6-8. And then some people think we're just going to be, dirt trash and win 3 games. So what do you think about that?
No, people aren't being realistic when it comes to like watching football over the years. And it's just almost a solid fact that when you get a brand new coaching staff, there's a ton of growing pains. And when you have there's just a whole bunch of things that need to be ironed out. Philly fans are going to be very surprised if they think this team's going to win 10 games. They're going to be very shocked and let down if they start out 0-5, because I don't know where these expectations come from, but we could get absolutely demolished by some of these teams that have been playing together for a long time. Even though the Atlanta Falcons aren't good, Kyle Pitts could run all over our linebackers in week 1 and put up 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's such an unknown. That's the thing. Like, this team's going to win 10 games or going to win 0 games. Nobody knows anything. So I'm setting myself up for the least amount of heartbreak as possible because I'm just not expecting much, and that's fine. But if you say we're going to win 11 games because of some good joint practices, I just think you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah. I just it's just where we're at as a team right now. Like, again, last year happened for a reason. We had to hit the reset button. We have nice young talent, but I mean, it's crazy though at the same time because I'm watching the Giants yesterday. I mean, Daniel Jones freaking stinks, man. I mean, he's bad. And then the
I didn't watch that.
Cowboys, I don't even know if Dak's going to be stable this year. And then I'm looking at Washington and I'm like, can Ryan Fitzpatrick really win a division? I just don't believe that. So like, I don't know. It's weird. I think 8 games takes the division. Honestly.
It's very possible. It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
It's just a total unknown. I just don't. What is the Redskins' plan? What did they do in the draft? I don't remember.
They drafted defense again. They go defense, defense, and defense all the time.
They don't have a young prospect at quarterback.
Well, they had
somebody.
They had Haskins, and obviously that didn't work out. They have the dude that they signed the guy that helped them almost beat Tom Brady last year in the playoffs, Taylor Heineke.
Oh, but I remember him.
I mean, he's not really the future. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think this division is going to suck. So
where did this Jalen Hurts can't throw a football thing come from? I don't understand it.
I think people look at this guy in college and they think because, he doesn't have the best arm that, he just can't play. And I don't agree. I've seen him throw balls down the field. How about the throw last year to Deshaun Jackson? Like, he's shown us some nice flashes. He can move on his feet. And, I mean, the guy's just shown some mental toughness from a young age. So this is why I'm getting annoyed with it. Like, give the guy at least a season to see what he can do,
Yeah, and he's a worker. So if his one weakness is his accuracy on a deep ball, is that the main thing that people think, that he's not accurate on a deep ball or that he throws it short?
Right. Yeah.
Like if that's his one weakness, I think he was probably throwing deep balls all offseason, every single day, working on it and getting better at it. And David Brazel says, Hurts can't outpass me, and I'm a semi-pro quarterback in Georgia. Okay, then lead your semi-pro team to a championship, please, because that's what you have to do. He's one of the most accomplished college quarterbacks in the history of the game. I mean, I just don't understand it. Just look at the stats. The guy was just unstoppable.
Yeah. And, people want to look at the season that he got subbed out for Tua. Okay, fine. I mean, not everything is just flowers all the time. It's not just all pretty every single time. Like, this guy's 22 years old. Carson Wentz got drafted at 23, I think. And I mean, he wasn't perfect in his first season. We went 7-9. But we weren't ready to exile the guy. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough. But anyway, we're going to open up the phone lines. We'll take a couple calls. We want to hear from you guys, man. Hopefully we'll both be able to hear it. But let us know, man. Give us some thoughts, Sixers-wise, Eagles-wise, whatever you want, man. Call into the show. I'm going to put the phone number up, and we'll see how it works. But while I'm doing that, what do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles in terms of like staying healthy this year? Like, do you think this is the year that we finally stay healthy? Because we've had an insurmountable amount of injuries the last couple years, and it just takes away from our team by the time and now we have an extra game too. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a black cloud over the city. It's been like that for a long time now. I don't understand it. Even with Devonta Smith dropping 3 balls in the preseason, and he dropped literally 6 his entire college career. He dropped 6 passes in 3 years. He dropped 3 in Eagles preseason games. It's just the way it goes. No, I don't think he's really going to have an issue dropping balls, but we have to be healthier than we've been. That's almost like you have to purposely, like, you have to purposely be breaking legs or something to be more injured than we were last year or the year before. So it's an up in the air unknown. If the offensive line is healthy and the defensive line is healthy, who knows what could happen? I just think with there's going to be a lot of growing pains, and people are not setting themselves up for it. They're setting themselves up for disappointment. But health-wise, you almost have to be healthier than you've been. It's almost impossible to be more injured than we've been lately.
Yeah. This one's for you. And I see Dave asked about where's Miles Sanders' 1,000-yard season. Let me tell you something, man. Miles is going to be the best player on the Eagles offense this year. I truly believe that. And I think he wasn't utilized at all last year. And I think he's going to be fresh. I do. So
DJ says Hurts is so good, then turns around and says we're not a 10-win team. He knows Hurts is bad. Okay, football. There's 11 guys on offense and 11 guys on defense. I can think Jalen Hurts is a much better quarterback than Gardner Minshew and still say this team isn't good enough to win. Like, what do you mean? And Gardner Minshew, again, went 1-15 last year. Well, I think Nick Foles had a punt. No, not Nick Foles. He was in Chicago already. He started 13 out of 16 games. He won one of them. That's your option? That's better than Jalen Hurts? If you're talking about a quarterback winning games, this guy never won anything.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. It's a much different game.
You can be a good quarterback with a bad team. You can be a good quarterback with a young learning team. You can be – a quarterback just can't single-handedly win games. I mean, there was years where Aaron Rodgers didn't have help in Green Bay, and you would never say Aaron Rodgers sucks because they didn't go undefeated.
Right. Yeah, I just want to know where this interpretation of, like, Jalen Hurts just can't play at all is coming from, because I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't either. I wish we would have saw more in the preseason. I don't think he's injury-prone. I mean, you know, like Patrick Mahomes was out here playing a whole half of football. Like Tom Brady was out here playing a first quarter. Why are we resting Jalen Hurts the entire preseason? He played 2 series the first game. So I wish we would have got to see more, but it's probably because Howie Roseman has an obsession with quarterback controversies, and he's like, nah, we're not going to play Jalen Hurts. We're going to leave that as a big question mark still, and then we're going to go trade for Gardner Minshew so I can get another quarterback controversy brewing.
He loves the quarterbacks, man. Yo, call in 215-798-7638. Give us your thoughts. Eagles, Sixers, man. Dave says 25 carries a game for Miles. I don't know about that, but I think he should get more than 7. You should get more than 2 in the second half. I mean, you know what? That's another thing, DJ. Like, people are counting Miles Sanders out for what?
I don't know where
nothing but positives, man.
Yeah, that started this offseason too, where Miles Sanders is no good and he's overrated. I don't know when that started. This dude has been an absolute beast since his rookie year. Again, a really bad team makes everything look bad, and then everyone's like, oh, this guy sucks.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
But I am excited to see a running game that, you know, running back by committee, kind of like there's a lot more weapons than just Miles Sanders on the team. The way we won the Super Bowl was using different running backs strategically. So, you know, I'm expecting to see maybe even Gainwell in the regular season. You know, he looked pretty good in the preseason, but I'm expecting to see – and Jordan Howard's only 26. And people forget that too. And actually somebody reminded me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, what? Jordan Howard's 26? I thought he was like 31 and ready to retire. Yeah, he could have a comeback season too.
Yeah, we get these notions that like these guys are older, but I mean, I don't know, man. We got to figure out this running back room, and even Boston Scott. Like, people don't like Boston Scott. I think he's a little Darren Sproles type of player. You know, have like one of those hot games. But I think Miles Sanders has to be the cream of the crop here. Like he's got to be the beast that takes over. I think he can have 1,000-yard season. I really don't see a problem with that. And then that'll help take pressure off of Jalen Hurts. And then, you know, Jalen Hurts is also a threat on the ground as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of different dimensions that can come up with this offense. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I don't think NZ Philly watches my YouTube channel, maybe not, but he said Sanders is a fumble machine who can't catch. He gets hate for a reason. So we got to go look at his stats because you have a short-term memory. In 2020, when the team fell apart, he had a 53-point catch percentage. In 2019, he had a 79.4% catch percentage, 8.1 yards per target. So he had trouble catching the ball last year with, you know, rotating quarterbacks and literally no offensive line. 2019, he didn't seem to have trouble catching the ball at all.
Yeah. a lot of people have been concerned with that. At the end of the day, from the sample size that we saw on the field, like I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. Like
In
it like
2019, this guy had 50 catches for 500 yards in 2019. I'm pretty sure that's more than Nelson Aguilar had in 2018 as a wide receiver.
yeah, I mean, and also you got to look at the utilization as well. Like all we're trying to say is that, we are not a contender this year, so we need to give some of these guys chances to see, where they're at. Enzi, he said, I know football very well. I should know Hurts is horrible. I don't understand where, you know, he's looked horrible. I'm willing to get, and again, it wasn't the right pick at the time. It never will be. But, it's just like, you got to give the guy a chance. Like, what else are we going to run with now? Maybe we draft a quarterback next year. A lot of people wanted Deshaun Watson. That's out of the equation now. So it's like, you know, if Jalen Hurts was a 6th-round quarterback, fine. I get it. But give the guy a chance, see what he has. So
53% is trash. Sanders has regressed every year, period. How old do you think this guy is? Bro, he was a rookie in 2019. He regressed 1 year. How is that regressing every year? There's only 2 years.
yeah. And why did he regress? Let's talk about how he got 6 carries in the first 5 minutes of the game. And he was non-existent in the second half. Let's talk about that. I don't get it, man. Who do we want at running back? Who do we want to go draft one in the first round? Let me tell you something. You can find running backs that are a dime a dozen. So I just don't get it, man.
Miles Sanders will have a comeback year this year, and everyone will forget about 2020. 2020 made everybody think everybody sucked because Carson Wentz was not horrible in 2019 either. In 2020, Carson Wentz, the worst thing that's ever happened. He's terrible.
Yeah. And Jason says Hurts made history in 3 starts last year. He actually did break a few records, but I guess people don't want to realize that. I mean, at one point we were literally sitting here saying like Carson needs to be benched for Jalen Hurts because he actually showed some promise. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah, because we were seeing the same thing every week, and it was ridiculous. And I was like, do they even practice, or is Doug Peterson just saying, hey, guys, I'll see you Sunday?
Yeah. And it's crazy because last year it kind of felt like we practiced too much. And then this year it feels like we didn't see enough of them. So, I mean, we still have our doubts and concerns, but I just don't know what the expectation is. I don't know why, it's not like we're a 12-win team ready to go for a Super Bowl. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of things have to be good other than just the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. We got 155 in here, man. What's going on, everybody? Drop a like, subscribe to the channels. Call into the show, man. We're waiting on some callers. Give us your thoughts. You got heavy opinion about the Sixers, about the Eagles, about Jalen Hurts, about Gardner Minshew. Think he's going to lead us to the next Super Bowl? Let us know, man. Let us know. Call into the show. Give us some thoughts.
But the major weak link of this team is still the linebackers, and it's going to be till Howie Roseman decides to address it. And we sit here and overrate players like Alex Singleton in the preseason, and the guy's terrible. The guy's absolutely awful. He's too small. He's too slow. Everybody loves his heart. That's what we love in Philly. He's like a TJ McConnell. We love his scrappiness. He's scrappy, and he has heart, and he tries really hard. Yeah, anybody can go out there and try really hard. The guy missed the tackle in the preseason trying to grab someone around the shoulders in the wide open field. Like, that's basic tackling that you learn in middle school. He's not good. TJ Edwards, Eric Wilson,
Yeah, I agree. I think our defense has improved, and I think it'll be better. I'm actually excited about our secondary, but then again, I'm a bit worried because if one of our starters go down, whether it's Slay, Nelson, or maybe Avonte Maddox, who the heck do we have behind those guys? I mean, I watched Zach McPherson get absolutely torched. People were trying to make this guy out to be a good 4th-round pick. He got absolutely scorched, okay? Who else? Craig James. I mean, guys like this, and, if they end up coming in at corner, I mean, really, I'm worried. And in terms of, I think our D line will be strong, but are we going to see more pressure towards the quarterback? It's about scheme as well. And like you said, our linebackers, man, we just haven't valued the position. We haven't valued it, so it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough.
So PFF ranked Hurts as the 31st quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
I'm sure some of the people in the chat agree with that, and I guess his haters and PFF know something that I don't know, if he's the 31st quarterback in the NFL. And some of the quarterbacks ahead of him never played an NFL game on that list.
Listen to what we're saying. Like, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is the future quarterback of the team. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people are thinking too much with, bias because of what happened a couple years ago. Like, please tell me that where this team has given Jalen Hurts really a true chance to show what he has. If we're looking at 4 games at the end of a rookie year with all controversy around it, I just don't think that's a fair, predictor of what may come. Maybe he doesn't pan out. That's fine. Maybe we draft a quarterback next year. But come on, man.
Where's Jalen Hurts on this list? I just found Chris Sims 2021 top 40 quarterback rankings. And I don't even know if I'm seeing Jalen Hurts on the list. What? He's not on here.
Yeah, I think they ranked him too low.
He's outside the top 40?
Yeah.
Trey Lance,
Who's
Case
listed?
Keenum, Chris Sims.
Yeah, he's the guy that everyone was talking about when they ranked him like really low.
Justin Fields never played a game. Tyrod Taylor? Tua? Teddy Bridgewater? Jared Goff? Mac Jones? How is it even possible for Mac Jones to be there?
I don't get it. I really don't.
Andy Dalton, number 29.
Makes no sense, man.
Zach Wilson, 27. Oh, Daniel Jones, number 26.
Daniel Jones stinks, man. It's fine. It's fine. I just, again, like people want to exile the quarterback position here. They did it with, Carson at some point, and now, it's just like, what do you want? It's gotten to the point where it just keeps on rolling. Like, really, what do we want at this point? We're not going to get a top free agent quarterback. No, even Deshaun Watson doesn't want to come here. And I don't know, man.
He said he won't waive his trade clause.
Yeah. And this guy is on federal charges.
Yeah, he's like literally, he's lucky that teams even want to have him on their team. And he's like, nah, I'm not going there.
Bro, who cares about 300 yards? Did you win or lose? Well, let me tell you why we lost. We had an atrocious defense. Every other guy on the offense, what were we working with, man? And I don't know. It's just, you guys have these thoughts, man. Call into the show. Give us some thoughts, man. Come voice your opinion.
Football is not win or loss. Football is, it just doesn't make sense. There's too many moving parts for wins and losses.
Exactly. And I never saw a player get hated by his own fan base for no reason besides him getting drafted to a team who didn't need him. We can all agree. We can all sit here and agree that we did not need that pick at that time. And the pick will never be justified. But it's just like, come on, man.
Exactly. Someone said, is Mac Jones even the starter? Exactly. They can't even decide if he's better than Cam Newton at this point, and he's number 30 on the list. How is that even possible? Taysom Hill is 24. Taysom Hill is awful.
Oh, man. I think the Eagles are going to be underdogs in a lot of games. I think they're going to prove some people wrong. I think they may end up with a few more wins, but
he also has Josh Allen at number 2.
Yeah,
and I'm a Josh Allen fan, but how you just throw him in a top 5 like that after one breakout season?
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. What's up with Philly fans nowadays, man? What is it? I don't get it. We're in a tough spot, man. We don't need more controversy. That's what
Yeah.
got us to this spot.
Yeah, why can't everybody accept, hey, this team's basically in rebuilding mode and have a positive outlook going towards the season? You know you were terrible last year. You know you're probably not going to be great this year. So why are you going to sit here and be like, he's not the answer, he's terrible?
Right.
Let's put in Gardner Minshew, who's also not the answer. And if it's wins and losses, the guy won one game in 13 starts last year.
I still can't believe that he got traded for a 6th-round pick. Like,
Yeah,
only Howie Roseman would find a way to do that, honestly.
Yeah. Who even trades anything for a 6th-round pick?
Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't. And Trevor Lawrence is going to be a really good quarterback. And in a way, it's like, Minshew came in for Nick Foles, who they paid like $80 million to.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple years later, now they have Trevor Lawrence, and they pretty much just kicked him to the curb. But
So that's a good way to look at it.
yeah.
They named Trevor Lawrence the starter, and they immediately got rid of the guy that has this magic hold on fan bases because they don't want a quarterback controversy. They want their rookie quarterback to go in there and have a clear mind and not have any pressure behind him and focus on being as good as he can possibly be.
Yeah, exactly.
So that they named him the starter and they got rid of a potential quarterback controversy right away. Instead of maybe Trevor Lawrence struggling for 3 games and the fan base chanting Minshew Mania. And Howie Roseman was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll take your quarterback controversy.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever just called into the show, man, call back. You hung up way too fast, man. Trying to bring you on. So call into the show. We're here. We're waiting. Let us know. Let us know how you guys feel about this.
Taysom Hill is a tight end. Yeah, I want to hear somebody call that has an opinion on Jalen Hurts. I want to hear it, man. Come on.
Yeah, someone called, man, and they hung up too fast. You have other people texting the phone line. We don't want texts, man. We want phone calls.
You can post a comment just like a text.
Right. Because we haven't seen him play one preseason. Every other quarterback has played but Hurts. How do we know what to expect from him? That's the thing. We don't know what to expect. But tell me how that makes sense. You don't know what to expect from the guy, and you're ready to throw him out to the curb. That's what I'm saying.
The only prediction I can make off of Jalen Hurts is how hard it looks like he works. It's the only prediction I can make. I can only assume he's going to be better than he was last year based off of his work ethic. If he proves me wrong, then he proves me wrong. But I have no reason to think he's terrible.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome on into the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. I gotta be honest, just looking in the chat and everything, it just kind of aggravates me to see Philly fans not giving him a chance at all. And I just kind of commented. I wonder that if Ben Simmons has kind of ruined Philly fans forever, and now we were so patient with him for so many years, and now we got a guy like Jalen Hurts that's just getting dogged by Philly fans for no reason. And I don't know. I just kind of don't understand it. Real Philly fans, I feel like, would want to settle with him for now and just at least see what he can do and just kind of end this, circus that's been going on lately.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that Philly fans are on a short leash because they kind of see these teams, bugging down a little bit, and we're getting impatient. But we just have to, face the reality, like it's just who we are right now. And Philly fans just don't want to be patient anymore. I get it. But I agree with you. I don't think that we can just, sit here and throw a guy out already that hasn't had a chance,
Yeah, I mean, you look at, kind of the skills and everything that he has, I feel like the league has kind of gone more in the direction of like more athletic quarterbacks than sort of pocket passer quarterbacks. And that's kind of, what he is. And I think if people just gave him a chance to see what he could do, he would probably do better, because I'm sure he sees a lot of this hate that's getting thrown his way. And, it's probably hurting his confidence, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Which, can only hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he has handled it pretty well to this point, But Let's see if DJ can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear the call. I don't think he can hear me through the phone though.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can. All right, cool. Wow, that's cool. I don't know how or why, but
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
sweet.
I know why, because the desktop audio through the computer, so it does work.
I did have one other kind of like question about, I guess Devontae Smith, kind of being like our number one receiver. You know, he's a good receiver and everything, and I'm excited to see what he can do. I just am kind of scared that maybe it might be another Deshaun Jackson situation where he's putting up tons of numbers and everything, but he's not really on the field when we need him to be on the field because he's so undersized and getting, hurt so much, getting so many concussions and things like that. I just like, how far do you see him going as the number one receiver with the Eagles?
I think if you look at the first stint we had with Deshaun Jackson, and compare it to that, really, because Deshaun Jackson was an animal and he was a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and I don't think he really had many injury problems in the first couple of years of his career. They were really that later signing with Deshaun Jackson was just like, come on, the guy's done. He was in Tampa Bay and played like 3 games the whole season. I didn't understand it, but I think Devonta Smith, at least the beginning of his career, he's so lightning quick off the line. It's unbelievable. Just from a couple of plays in the preseason and what you see in the training camp highlights and stuff, there's not a lot of corners that are going to stick with this kid right off the jump. And I don't think it matters how big he is because he's going to run past everyone. If he's running across the middle and gets popped by a linebacker, that's a different situation. I might just keep him on the outside, fade routes and go routes, and don't even let him see the middle of the field. But yeah, I don't think he's going to have injury problems for a while at least.
Yeah, I think.
That's the one thing I think scares me with Jalen is just being so new as a quarterback, and hopefully he doesn't, kind of have that guy hanging out there in the middle or anything and putting him in a bad situation, because I'd like to see him, stay with the Eagles for a long time. Devontae Smith, because that guy's got probably some of the best footwork I've ever seen from a wide receiver. So that guy, I think, is going to put up some big numbers for the Eagles over the years.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's what we've been needing as well. And I think if he stays healthy, I think the sky's the limit for this kid. I really do. And I expect him to, beef up a little bit and stuff, but hopefully he can stay on the field for us, man. This is the guy we've been missing out and waiting on, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't really anticipate him beefing up at all. I think he's just that kind of body type that can't gain a pound. He's probably going to be 160 pounds his whole career. But it was a good point about a young quarterback, because young quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks, can definitely get somebody killed on the field by leading them into the defense. Yeah. So hopefully Hurts doesn't do that to him.
Yep. Hey, appreciate the call, man.
Well, hopefully Philly fans will get on Hurts' side, man. That's something Philly fans have gotten behind people over the years, and it just seems like nobody's ever gotten behind him really the way they should. So hopefully that doesn't continue and he can do something to kind of sway people's opinions, and we can get this thing rolling,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope that we can finally find a way to rally around him, But hey, appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate talking to you guys, man.
Thanks, bro.
Landon Dickerson can finally practice.
There we go. I think he has a bright future as well. We got to find a lot from our young guys this year, man. That's where we're at.
Yeah, and I hated the pick, of course, because he was injured when we drafted him, and he's had season-ending injuries in college. And if he could stay healthy, he's an absolute tank. And they say he has, some of the quickest hands and best footwork of a guy that size that they've seen for a while. So it's all about health with him. I have no doubts that if he's healthy, he's going to be a franchise, offensive lineman.
Yep,
hello.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on, guys?
Welcome on in, bro. Give us your thoughts.
Hey, I've been listening, dude. I'm not even a Philly fan, but I'm a Minshew fan, right?
Right.
All right.
I like Hurts too, though. But I don't think Hurts is, you know what I mean? I don't think he wants it like Minshew.
What do you mean exactly?
Like like when he got pulled, and I was watching the Bama game. When he got pulled in the national championship game, dude, and just went to the sideline like, all right, you know what I mean? I just was like, whoa, you know? So, when Minshew got picked up, drafted by Jacksonville, I didn't even know who he was. And I was watching, I was like, damn, this kid's hungry. And I don't know how old are y'all guys? Y'all there?
How old am I? I'm 34.
Yeah, how old are y'all?
I'm 34.
We were around the same age.
Yeah.
But do you remember when Drew Brees played for San Diego?
Yeah.
Well, they drafted Phillip Rivers, and Rivers come in, took the job from him. But I mean, we all knew how that played out with Drew Brees, though.
Yeah, I think Drew Bledsoe was towards the end of his career, and they drafted a young quarterback that came in. They actually drafted Eli Manning and traded him for.
They did.
Yeah, that was a weird trade. I remember that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they benched Hurts in the game. What was he supposed to do? Stand there and refuse to go out of the game? What was he supposed to do? You say he didn't want it because he listened to the coach. Hey, you're benched. I mean, you kind of have to listen to the coach.
Yeah. And
I guess so.
In my opinion, man, it's like, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I feel like Jalen Hurts has actually handled this well. I mean, he could have turned toxic quick, with all this speculation last year. I feel like he's just going about his business, and this offseason, he hasn't really done anything to, show me that he's not trying to take the next step. I mean, all the things being good for now, but I get some of the, the negative points about his game, but again, he's still young, man. We got to at least give him a chance, in my opinion.
I think he wants it more than anybody. I mean, whether he's good or not is just a fit. You're either good or you're not. You can want it as much as you want and still not be good enough. And he might end up not being good enough, but as far as wanting it, the dude just seems like uber confident to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Philly's in a good situation, man. I think both of them, I mean, for real, I think both of them can be starters. And something's going to go down about halfway in this year. If Hurts don't get injured and falls out, oh, shit. But if he goes down and Minshew comes in there, he might not get the spot back, dude.
Let me ask you this before we get you off. Because you said that they could probably both be starters, and I actually agree with that. Like, are you surprised that the Jags just pretty much gave him away from nothing?
Dude, that I was shocked. That's the only reason I've been keeping up with them is because of Minshew.
So you're like
as much as I have lately.
Yeah. So like, what is your take then? Like, are you surprised that you pretty much just got nothing for him?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they done that, but
well, they have
Philly about to come up, dude.
Yeah, let's hope so, man.
I mean, y'all's offensive line's healthy this year, right?
Questionable. That's big risk. I mean, we have talent, but we got to stay healthy, man. We have not been healthy for a good 4 years, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
But hey, appreciate the takes, man.
Well, yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
I'll be listening.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Later.
Wow, that was interesting.
I'm not trying to laugh at you, man. Shout out to you. Thanks for the call. So, this guy actually follows Gardner Minshew like people follow LeBron James. Like, whatever team he goes to, I'm going to watch.
Like, I didn't know that Gardner Minshew had, like, a good fan base. Like, that kind of scares me. Like, if Minshew Mania, comes to Philadelphia, it might get hectic up in here. Like the Folesian Society.
Jacksonville traded him because their goal was to get rid of any potential quarterback controversy behind their rookie quarterback.
Yeah. They were only good for anything, man.
Howie Roseman welcomed it because he wants one.
Yeah. There you go.
Quarterback factory.
Let's see what the next caller says. Let's see if we got a similar take or, we'll take a couple more, but let's see what this guy has to say. Yo, you're live on the show. What up?
Not much. Yo, gentlemen, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey.
pretty good. I just think it's time we just ride or die with Hurts because you got people. I don't know if you listen to WIP asking to put Flacco in, as the starting role.
I can't believe
Just
it, man.
insane. I mean, I'm old enough to remember everybody clamoring to put Bobby Hoying as the starter back in '98.
Bobby Hoying. I think
that
I had a
only made
Bobby
us
Hoying
so
jersey,
old.
honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. I mean, put Hurts in. He's got a rough enough job with 3 head coaches. Try Howie, the owner, and Sirianni. It's just nuts.
Yeah. What do you think about?
I mean, what do you guys think?
What do you think about the Minshew thing? Do you think there's any substance to
Minshew
it?
thing. Yeah, Minshew thing. I'm not concerned with. He's not going to get in there. I don't think.
Nah.
There's a better shot of Flacco getting in there, but I think Hurts is going to do the entire 17.
Yeah.
So I'm not that concerned.
I hope
think
so.
he's gonna have a good year. I want to ask you and also DJ, feel free to partake in this, but like one thing we didn't touch on is Nick Sirianni. Is he going to have enough authority? Like, is he going to be able as a rookie head coach, right? Especially with how our structure is as a team. Like, do you think he's even going to have the ability to really do everything he wants with Jalen Hurts?
Not at all. I think he's just a walking, talking puppet. He's just
Yes,
glad
man.
to be there, and I mean, yeah. I mean, take a look. The last coach we had won a Super Bowl, and that wasn't good enough for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and his opening press conference, I really just hated the way he kissed Howie Roseman's ass and just like, oh, this roster's so great, and these guys built such an amazing roster, and we were like, you're lying to the fan base right now. We get it, but he could have just been a little more honest. Like, this team's in a transition period. I'm a new coach, so it's the way he kissed Howie Roseman's ass in that first press conference.
Remember back in '16 when they hired Doug, they said it was going to be a 2 to 5 year window to rebuild.
Yeah.
And then they won the Super Bowl, and 2 years later he's being fired.
Yeah, I mean,
Very weird the way our.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. I was just gonna say, like, with everything that happened, and you get rid of the Super Bowl head coach, but you don't get rid of the guy that put together the roster, and it's almost like, why? Like, why not hit the reset button or at least try to switch up some of the young guys we have in here, which we did. But I think there's a structure problem, in my personal opinion. I think there's a structure problem with the Eagles, and I don't think it's going to come to an end anytime soon.
I don't either.
Yeah.
You guys have a good day. I gotta.
Hey, thanks for the call, bro.
I think
Very
this
well.
might be the final straw for Howie Roseman. Not that he's going to get fired, but he could definitely end up in a Chip Kelly situation where he basically got demoted because he wasn't doing a good job.
But would that happen, though? I just don't see Jeffrey Lurie doing that. It's sad.
But I also think when people think Sirianni's not going to have, like, power, I think maybe last year and the year before, and Howie Roseman's like, all right, I got to basically give this new coach as much power as he wants because people hate me. Yep. Or maybe he doesn't care at all that people hate him.
I don't get it, man. And I feel like he kind of made the Devontae Smith pick on basis of where Eagles fans were at, but that doesn't resolve everything that happened over the last couple of years. Like, people just seem to forget about that. And I don't know. It's rough, man. But we'll probably take one more call and then we'll end up getting out of here. But you guys, these calls have been great, man. We love the insight. People are talking about the Colts just placed Carson Wentz on the COVID-19 list.
We need to start calling it COVID-22 at this point.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess he's unvaccinated, so.
Yeah, he wouldn't answer.
He set himself up for that.
Yeah. What do you think about that, though? Do you think he's going to earn us that first round pick?
No, I don't think so. Well, he has to play 70%, and they have to make the playoffs, or he has to play 75%, and he broke his foot like the second day of training camp. No, the guy just nope. It's not one recurring injury. It's just I don't know. He's made of glass for some reason.
Right.
Shoulder. His rookie season, he missed preseason because of his shoulder. Then he started and played good. Then the next year he played amazing and tore his ACL. Then he came back the year after that and had a back issue. Now he broke his foot.
Every year. Every single year, man. Kevin says, come on, it's a great backup, let alone it's a fifth rounder at best. How he can't do anything right, in your opinion? Look, we're not saying it was a bad move to get him for a 6th-round pick. That's not what we're saying at all. I think it was a good move. It was smart. But all I'm saying is at the end of the day, like based off of what has happened before, you know, and just looking at where our team is as a whole, like we just have to reassure Jalen Hurts that it's his job, you know, and that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, and if you're in a rebuilding period and you're not expecting to be great in the first place, why is one of your obligations a reliable backup quarterback? I just don't get it. You should let Jalen Hurts run the show, and if he goes out for a couple games, you put Joe Flacco in there. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Now we got to deal with Minshew mania if he comes in. And I know if he comes in, he's going to throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, and then we're in a heap of trouble again.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, Howie made a couple nice signings this offseason. I mean, he's trying to get back to the old identity. I just think that years ago, everything he did was just perfect, and it's hard to replicate that. So, and I think what happened last year was a fireable offense. Like, I just don't understand how it's justified that we got rid of a Super Bowl head coach and we got rid of the quarterback, but we kept the one guy here. You know, that was also a part of it. That's what I don't understand. So,
yeah, it was a combination of Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman. And Doug Peterson just wanted to leave because he was tired of answering to Howie Roseman, basically. And he could have, you know, resigned at the beginning of the season instead of wasting a whole year not trying to win.
Yeah, exactly. But
punting in overtime and shit like that.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We'll take a last call if anybody wants to give their opinion. But let us know if you guys enjoyed the stream, man. We didn't even know that we could do the duo call-in, but now that we know that, we'll definitely be doing that more for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, let us know if you guys are enjoying this, man. Appreciate all the thoughts. You know, even if we don't agree, we both appreciate people that can actually have a conversation about it, you know, and that's what this whole thing is about. You know, you don't have to turn toxic. You don't have to do this. We agree, we disagree on some things, and that's the beauty of it. So we do appreciate everybody that's hanging strong. I mean, it's a Monday afternoon, and we still got 130 something people in the chat. So shout out to you guys, man.
Yeah, just the fact that people think Minshew is better than Hurts is annoying because here we go again. That's all I'm saying. We're not giving anybody time to prove if they're good or not. We go and trade for a guy that people think is better than him, and now here we go again.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to say at the end of this, despite everything that we've talked about, the Eagles could possibly still win the division, as crazy as I may sound now. Because honestly, every other team sucks. They suck. I thought the Giants were going to take it by the helm. Let me tell you something. The Giants have no quarterback. Okay? That's just the truth of it. I mean,
I didn't watch it last night. Was he that bad?
I mean, he was, he started out bad. He just has those dummy moments, where he just, and, all he had to do is step up a little bit. He kind of looks like the same guy, if I'm being honest. Like, he'll have a good game here, a good game there. And then, Giants fans want to punch him in the face. And he looks like he isn't living up to that potential. So I just don't see him as being like that quarterback to help the team take the next step to contending. Like, he's just an average quarterback.
Yeah, and he probably will be. And his future probably won't be in New York, and he'll be another Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, and it's funny because Giants fans were the first ones to comment saying that Eagles now have a quarterback controversy. But it's like they probably would die for Gardner Minshew right now.
That's what I don't understand. If he's as good as his stats say, why didn't teams that actually need a quarterback go trade for him? Why was Howie Roseman the only one that gave up a 6th-round pick?
Right. I don't understand that either. But anyway, appreciate everybody calling into the show, man. You guys are the best. Shout out to everybody on both channels. Be sure to drop a like, sub if you're new. And we'll definitely be doing this again. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. You guys have a great one. And we will catch you next time. Peace.